Showtime!
It's about that time.
Let's go!
You're right where you need to be. This is GCOM Radio.
Hardest radio station on the planet. Yeah!
Powered by Lyfeblood.com.
We certified.
And hosted by Nova Phoenix.
Give them that flavor. Y'all, check it out, y'all.
Here's a bonus. You heard it before.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Serving that heat. That turn me up. GCOM Radio.
What does it matter? I'm not the only one. No. I will be waiting until you're done, then you run to me. Oh, I will be a single lady keeping score, burning and praying one day you'll smell the fragrance. Then you'll applaud me, a faithful baby, 'cause I let you roam, hoping someday you'd claim me. I wait for the prize and save the tears till the nighttime. When I'm alone and you're asleep, then I weep. Stuck in a situationship, I'm addicted to the pain I live. The light that tells me if I'm patient, it will turn into a relationship. Stuck in a situationship, I'm addicted to the pain I live. The light that tells me if I'm patient, it will turn into a relationship.
Believe me, I ain't usually the jealous type, nah. But you got me over here wishing you'd see me as more than just a nice guy. 'Cause I'm the one who sends that morning text and gives you roses, tells you that you're beautiful, hoping you'd notice. I'm losing my mind when you ain't losing sleep, and I'm living for the days when you come running back to me. Saving myself, holding on for what could be, when I'm only half of what you need. Oh, I'm so
stuck in a situationship. I'm addicted to the pain I live. I'm addicted. The light that tells me if I'm patient, it lying to myself will turn into a relationship. Stuck in a situationship. Oh, I'm addicted to the pain I live. The light that tells me if I'm patient, it will turn into a relationship. I wait for longer. You let me wander, doing time, it don't mean nothing, no, 'cause you never let me go.
And I let you keep me on the shelf, and I keep lying to myself when I know I'll be better off on my own. Baby, I'm stuck in a situation.
I'm addicted to the pain I live.
Addicted to it.
The light that tells me if I'm patient,
'Cause I believe the
will turn into a
lies. Just wanna
relationship.
be in a relationship.
Stuck in a situation.
Stuck in a situation.
I'm addicted to the pain I live.
Baby, I'm addicted
The light
to
that
the
tells me
pain
if
I
I'm patient,
live. If I'm
will turn into a relationship.
Stuck in a situationship.
When will you be mine?
I'm addicted to the pain I live.
I'm
The light that tells me if I'm
waiting.
patient,
I'm waiting.
will turn into a relationship.
I'm waiting.
Stuck in a situationship.
Situationship.
I'm addicted to the pain I live.
When will you love
The
me?
light that tells me if I'm patient,
Oh, every day I lie.
will turn into a relationship. Stuck in a situationship. I'm addicted to the pain I live. The lie that tells me if I'm patient, it will turn into a relationship.
Okay. We are back for another episode. This is what, episode 66, and you just heard Sherry V, straight out of London, the UK, United Kingdom, with her song Situationship, playing her again. Oh man, big ups to Sherry V. Love her silky smooth voice, nice, and she be you know what I mean, killing these dudes on IG, man. Looking like that, man. Looking all extra. Shout out to Sherry B, man. Much love to her, man. When she coming out with a new project, I would like to know. But much love to Sherry V, man. You're listening to Nova Phoenix on GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio, and we have returned for another episode for you guys, doing it up again in this COVID-19 situation. So what's been going on with y'all? Hopefully everything has been beautiful. Hopefully you're doing what to do, having fun. I know them kids is driving you crazy, and they running all over the place because they just got extra time, driving you insane. I know, man. But when them kids get quiet, what have you been up to? And for those, let's just say, that do have COVID-19 and just sick up in bed and not moving and listening to the show, much support and love and light to you. Hoping you have a quick recovery. And I'm right there with you, man. So let's just get the show started, man. So what's been going on that I've seen in the past, say, week and a half or whatever? Oh, Dr. Fauci was on the Breakfast Club, like to give him a big ups. Charlemagne the God, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee had Dr. Fauci on the show, and it was so refreshing to hear knowledge and level-headedness and people speaking from their years, being in the field that they're in and their expertise. It is like a breath of fresh air. Giving his rundown of how we should be dealing with each other and dealing with this COVID-19. So big ups to him. So Tory Lanez dropped an album, the new Toronto 3. Look at this dude, where he been? He been doing his thing up on IG. I've been seeing him. I don't really follow him, but I'm gonna follow him now. But he got a new record that'll come out. Yeah, hey man, like I said before, guys, artists, man, they got to do some personal promotions for themselves, because all of these things dropping out of nowhere, out the sky, like hitting people in the head, like, god damn, you got something. You at least give us 2 weeks in advance just to prepare, you know what I mean? And speaking of dropping some new work, Kelly Rowland is dropping her new video single called Coffee. All that chocolatiness in there. Oh my god, look at all that. Look at them sisters over there rocking their regalness, looking all scrumptious. Shout out to Kelly Rowland, man. Looking forward to checking out that new project. So check out the video. Go on YouTube. I just saw on her IG. She's just hit 1 million views. Let them views go up, man. 2 million, 5 million, 10 million. I want to see that support and for Kelly Rowland and all her sister chocolatiness. You know what I mean? Dr. Oz was on Sean Hannity. This is one of the things I don't understand. So she's been on this dude, Dr. Oz, and I always thought Dr. Oz was a cool dude, being a doctor. He's on television. He's gonna give people some good advice on medical situations or whatever medical things that they're going through. Blah 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 blah. But then he said some kind of craziness. This guy said 2 or 3% in the total mortality rate is adequate when kids have to go back to school. 2 or 3%. Wait a second. This dude just said 2 or 3% is something that we have to deal with when we have our kids go back to school. Yo, man, if I was sitting across the table from this guy, and I know I'm professional, I'm a fan of Lyfeblood.com. With a certain way we carry ourselves. But then the other side of me is like, just wants to go from left to two right across the face. What is he talking about, 2 or 3%? No 2 or 3% is adequate or something that we have to deal with when we're sending our kids back to school. That's not what parents are here to accept, some statistical number. That's not what we're here for. When we send our kids, even without COVID-19, with that dark cloud over our head, when we send our kids to school every day, we think we want to make sure that our kids get to school safely and they return home safely. We think about them throughout our day. And you mean to tell me during this whole pandemic with death roaming around these streets out here, you think for him to say 2 or 3% is an acceptable number when we send our kids back to school? Yeah, listen, he got me even stuttering. Other than the usual way I stutter on this show, this motherfucker got me stuttering, willing to backsway this dude for saying that. Yo, knock that fucking doctor's PhD certificate right off his goddamn wall. That's how hard I want to smack this dude talking that craziness. Why don't he send his kids to school? I think he has 2 daughters, I think. How about this? If you feel that 2 or 3% is an acceptable number, how about you send your kids right in the smack dab heart of this COVID-19 situation? Let's see how much of an acceptable number you think that is. This fool is straight crazy. And I can't believe this dude is chummy with Charlemagne on the show. How come Charlemagne ain't talking about that? I don't know what he heard. Maybe I didn't hear that part, but god damn it, he needs to shut the fuck up talking that craziness. Speaking of COVID-19, Florida has reopened the beaches. Reopen the beaches. People are protesting in Michigan that they're tired of staying in. These dudes, these cats, got their guns slung on their back. I think they're either at the city hall or whatever in Michigan or whatever, or the governor's house, and they protesting and screaming and yelling and waving their flags, and they got their protest. What the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on here? It's almost, look, everything that's happening now, I'm not a religious man, and I thought about this, and I don't believe I said it on any social media, but what's going on is almost biblical. I'm not a religious man. No, I'm not. But it's goddamn almost biblical what's happening around here. I take death, this COVID-19, what do you call it, cloud of death was happening, almost like what's happening in the days of Moses, when they had to brush a broad blood stroke over their doorways so the as I say, the agent of death can pass by their houses. Don't take their firstborn. That's what Moses was telling the Pharaoh by letting his people go. But the Pharaoh didn't want to listen, and God had to work through. I wouldn't say God had to work through, but Moses was an agent of God, and God put down that plague and killed the firstborn. Ain't that something? That's how I take it today. Look at what's going on. It's eerily similar to those stories that we have to shelter in, just like how those folks in the Bible had to shelter in, make sure that the mist of death passed by their homes. And it's the same thing that we got to do here. And yet you have people in Michigan that are protesting because they can't get out their homes, because they can't get a haircut. You got the governor reopening the beaches because he doesn't believe in it for whatever way that he feels about the COVID-19. It's tragic. It is straight tragic where people are not even looking at the blaring signs of this COVID-19. It's tragic, man. And what Trump is doing with this woman, what he's saying. And matter of fact, let me back up a little bit. You notice how a lot of those Michigan protesters, wearing red hats. Who are they? Trump voters. The occult Trump voters. And then Trump is going to say, oh, people got to rise up in Michigan. Or whatever language that he used. They got to rise up. Now, look, let me tell you something. Trump don't care about those protesters down there. They don't care. He doesn't care about his following. It's not about right and left to Trump. It's not the fact that the governor of Michigan is a Democrat. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the fact that this woman dared to argue him down, dared to defy him. And him as a narcissistic, a man of self-interest, selfish, and every other word I can't think of right now, and everything that's wrong with this man. He was, I can't believe this woman dared argue me. I'm the president. It had everything to do with his ego. It had everything to do with the fact that she's a woman and she had dared to defy him. So then he said that. Not that he cares about the people down there. He give two shits about his followers. He's almost equivalent, I have to say, I'm going to be real, it's almost equivalent to Jim Jones. And he had his occult following, right? And he went down to, I think, what was it, Trinidad, folks? Help me out here. Trinidad or Guyana, I think it was Guyana. And what happened at the very end? He gave all of them Kool-Aid, and it was poisoned, and he had his whole congregation drink it, and they all died. All of them. That's almost like what Trump is. He does not care about his voters. He uses them to what he needs. He uses them for his own self-interest. And the fact that this woman defied him, he was like, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. Very petty, very petty. Revolt, Michigan. Yes, you need to. Putting people's lives at risk. Not just what could potentially happen in that area to that governor, but also exposing people by encouraging them to go out. That's crazy. And now, it's funny, related to this COVID-19 thing. So I saw another clip, right? The world. Interesting. This clip had every country, and they put the names down, whether it was Spain, whether it was somewhere in countries in Africa, it was Italy, it was countries in South America, all over the world. They were showing these people spraying down the communities in full gear, in the Tyvek suits, in the rubber gloves, and the half APR mask, or the full mask, spraying down the communities to sanitize the communities for blocks and blocks around the world. But yet when you go jump over, and somebody said, I wish there was a clip of this, and then right after you would show what Americans are doing. And here it is, we got people protesting, they want to go to the beach. They protesting because they don't want to stay at home. Ain't no spraying over here. There's nothing done. There's no methods that we can use to battle this thing. But the whole world is doing it. What is going on? Anyway, so we're going to go forward with the first segment of the show. And I always said I was going to do this. I won't make this long, folks. Because there is no vaccine right now, it's going to be another 12 to 18 months before we get a vaccine or something close to a vaccine in 12 to 18 month period for this coronavirus thing. But then, as I said before, as it goes back to, it's like the spirit, the ancestors are coming back to me, and it's the Dr. Sebi, the ancestor now, is coming back and saying, I told you. This is how you deal with sickness. This is how you deal with anything that could attack your body. And I said last week I was going to talk a little bit about some immune boosting foods. And I just took something. My wife bought this thing. It's called Vive Organic Immunity Booster. And it has ginger root in it, turmeric root, echinacea root and flower, and some black pepper. And it certainly was peppery, but it was good though, man. So whatever the concoctions that you guys can create to boost your immune system, to battle and with any potential contacts with coronavirus, making sure you guys washing your hands and using the sanitizer wipes and alcohol bottles and everything like that, hopefully using that. But of course we have to boost our immune system. So one thing, I have a couple I'm going to share with you. So we got soursop, man, also known as graviola, custard apple, cherry moya, guanabana, and Brazilian pawpaw. It's from the trees in the rainforest of Africa. They say rainforest, I don't know rainforest. But anyway, in the jungles of Africa, or the foliage, or wherever there is the growth of this particular vegetation, soursop in South America and Southeast Asia. It is known in the community that it fights off cancer, but it's funny. It's known in the community. As I always said before, I will talk about what we deal with as far as our foods. And just back up. I know I said before on the show that that we speak about here on GCOM Radio on Lyfeblood.com that we're not going to go into flights and fancy. We're going to stick to the facts and science. But of course, we're always going to connect it to what our parents did and their parents' parents did. And there's always going to be a scientific aspect to it to make sure that what our parents told us is right. So as I know in the community or in my families, they always talked about soursop. It fights off cancer. But it's funny that you go to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. It said that soursop has some anti-cancer properties. It has 212 phytochemical ingredients, which fights off, which is anti-cancer, gives you antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and has other health benefits. Certain Western scientists had this study for 15-day treatment, and they said that they were giving it to diabetic rats, and the subject saw a 46% reduction in blood glucose compared to diabetic controls not treated with the extract. So, however, they are saying that it hasn't gone through human trials, only through animals, and that there possibly may not be a connection. But we all know soursop does have these medicinal properties. So we encourage people to drink or use soursop in whatever way that you can. Chamomile, they say one thing that's important that Dr. Fauci did say is always get your adequate amount of sleep. That boosts the immune system. And chamomile has the ability to calm anxiety and allow us to ease into our deep sleep. A doctor say, as I said, it's a part of building your immune system and getting that decent night's rest. And it's important to drink that right before you go to bed. Another one is sea moss. You know about in the Caribbean, we dealt with sea moss, all right? Or it's a part of the diet with a lot of Caribbean folk, sea moss. They say that it has its health benefits. It's an algae, so it's perfect for vegetarians and vegans. It is filled with calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, copper, and more. So instead of taking multivitamins, they say you can have sea moss and it gives the same effect. Now, also with sea moss, no, matter of fact, not even with sea moss, there's an equivalent called, I've never heard of this, called bladder rack. BL, of course, bladder, BLADDER, rack, WRACK. They say it's high in iodine and it's good for thyroid health, blood cleansing, the removal of impurities. It helps with bronchitis, constipation, emphysema, urinary tract infection, and also anxiety. So bladder rack is good for that. They're saying dandelion root, it flushes out water weight, detoxifies the liver, fights diabetes, treats urinary tract infection as well. And lastly, elderberry. It is an antioxidant, it's anti-diabetic and anti-inflammatory. Studies say that it does definitely have antiviral effects. So look up all of these different descriptions of these roots and herbs and things that are a part of the earth. You can go into and make it a part of your diet and boost your immune system. So they also say get rest, make sure you exercise, and eat the right foods. Now incorporate this into your diet and do all we can to fight off this COVID-19 thing. So what else? I think that's it. All right. So anyway, let's get into the second song of the show. And in the second, with this second song, we have this young brother. Oh man, this dude is really dope, man. Young cat. He's got to be at least 18 or 19. And I don't even know how I found him. I found him on Instagram. And his name is Real Squabbles. And in this song, he has actually a project out. It's called Art of the Boom Bap 2. And he has this particular song, which is an intro on the record. And I'm like, man, I got to use this. This dude goes back to the day of lyrics in New York. Lyrics. I'm pretty sure he's from New York, too. So this cat, young dude, is named Real Squabbles. And his songs features one of his boys is Johnny Slash. So check this one out. It's an intro to his project, Art of the Boom Bap. And it's only an intro. Amazing, right? So check this young brother out. All right.
Johnny.
Johnny. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1
hear it right here.
Now this the type of song you put on replay.
Nothing but the exclusive.
That's not exclusive right here.
On GCOM Radio.
Yo. It's Mad Squabbles. It's the art of boom bap two. Love. I've been the illest in rap since lyricism collapsed. I'm the illegitimate villain who implemented the wrath. Mess around and cut your time short, the rarest kind. Fuck a paradigm on a divine course. Mind sort of sporadic, lines never short of elaborate. Once a sorcerer, now I've morphed with a dragon. More torturous patterns, caught you with the force of a phantom. Orbits are shattered, when I voice my thoughts is a hazard. Don't approach me with no phony shit. My soul's equipped with a holy gift that only patrol the hoaxes who know we sick, overdosing on potent scripts. I'm finna be giving you niggas the blues, I'm like a soulful crip. Cripple your vocal grip. Exceeding the bar set was never far-fetched. I crash dummies like a car wreck, making them all sweat, they all vexed. Constantly starving, I disregard rest. I'm a grade A instrumental killer, this a contest. Back on the hunt, emphatic as such. Don't ask me to spit for you, dog. I rap when I what? Listen, I got that boom bap in my veins, wrapped in my blood. And it's time to prove I'm not with the games. Cancel the fun, I'm a freak of nature. For my keepsake, I keep a piece of paper. Trying to stop me is like the magic, trying to beat the Lakers. Doctors treat your patience, I know these rappers are sick. Like Tupac in Malaysia, they can't believe I exist. This is the farthest from that auto-tune rap. This that hard to groom, horror tune, auto boom bap. Mixed with all the grooves y'all abuse, regardless who's whack. I'm in an awkward mood often, but my heart exudes facts. Why these frauds be calling audibles and start to lose track? I'm in a spar with all these stars consumed, the bars that lose slack. Slick with the words, the flow is causing y'all to move back. Missions deterred, bestowed upon this art-approved crack. The pusher, the peddler, the butcher that severed the record. The cook up the essence, to look up I had to perfect it. The rookie, the freshman mistook me for passive aggressive. To handle the pressure, I had to connect with the legends all the way. Directed the smarter way. Orlando, I chose to get the penny the harder way. Till I get to the Hall of Fame. Capture whoever new to the sound. If you ever doubted before, just know I'm proving it now, nigga.
This is GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com. Come join, be a lifer. Practice dollar power and build financial independence.
Yeah, okay, we are back, man. That was that brother, Real Squabbles, featuring Johnny Slash, the art of the boom bap. As I said, that was just an intro. This dude has some real skill, man. It really is a throwback to when hip hop really was centered on lyricism. And if you got on that stage and you ain't wild a crowd, yo, you had to get off the stage. So this just gives me hope to hip hop that this young brother, Real Squabbles, is gonna put some balance back into the music art form. So yeah, man, so big ups to him. Also, listen, there's a lot of things that, as I was talking about in the previous segment about the soursop and all these other fruits and roots that are healthy for us to build up our immune system. A lot of things that I've known before, I'm learning right along with you guys. So even though I've heard of these fruits from back in the day, I'm taking now the time out to really understand its healthy properties. And there's a lot of things that I didn't know. So what I'm sharing with you, there are some things in the information that I'm giving to you that I'm learning for the first time myself. And it's funny that, look, I was a pescatarian for many years, and I had this information in my head that I read before. But like a lot of us, we learn these things and we really don't apply them. There's certain things that I took, and there's certain things that I just left to memory. And as everybody knows watching this show, my memory ain't too great. And I think that's directly related to the lack of sleep that I do get. So as an advice to you and advice to myself, sleep should be an important thing that I should get so I can build my memory back up. All right, so before we move on into the second segment, we're going to get into business of the week. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. All right, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bringing you the business of the week and its innovative founders is what you've been waiting for.
The world is literally on lockdown during this coronavirus ordeal. The United States is trying to figure out the best steps to start reopening the doors to its citizens and its economy. While we're working and doing school at home, people are trying to figure out the best ways to improve their at-home experience. In regards to education, one business owner is offering great services to help kids learn while quote-unquote at school on their laptops. Roland Omeen, founder of Frog Tutoring, provides free online courses for students K through 12. By using a curriculum from CK12.org Education Foundation, he can offer 290 courses across different subjects and grades. Mr. Omeen says, quote, "As leaders in the tutoring industry, I wanted to play a role to ensure that all families can offer their children the ability to continue their education. I am proud of our tutors and the impact they will have in making a difference in children's lives as we all face COVID-19, unquote. Lyfeblood.com would like to salute frogtutoring.com for creating an online educational space where kids and young adults can improve their learning experience right from their living room. Go to frogtutoring.com for more info. All right, so that is business of the week, and hopefully that could give you some information on what this particular entrepreneur is doing. All right, what we got going on for the second segment? All right, what do I see here? Okay, so we have resilience in the eye of COVID. Resilience. You know, it's funny, man. I tell you, man, and I got to speak from my experience, things that I'm connected to. I tell you, black people, we don't stop, man. We are some really magical people, I tell you. And even when the chips are down and it gets rough and it's crazy, we still find a way to make it through. And whatever creations that we make and manifestations and things that really empower the mind and inspire minds, that goes for the individual, us ourselves is doing the work, and for those that we are giving it to. Man, I'm telling you, we could do some pretty amazing things. And I say that because in light of everything that's happening with the sheltering in, there are so many people that's really making the best of what this sheltering in is doing to us. Now, as I said before, we did that versus battle, man. When we was what was it? What was going on? The last big one, as I said, with Primo and RZA, that was dope. And now with Teddy Riley and Babyface. Now there was some technical issues on Teddy's side. Let me tell you something. Teddy, I tell you, man. Listen, I know Babyface was chilling. I'm just gonna play my music, man. I'm just gonna play my music. It ain't gotta be that serious. But Teddy was putting on a show. He was doing Coachella, South by Southwest, and any major function in New York all rolled into one. My man was doing it. I tell you, boy. He had his, fedora on. He had his backup dancers. He had the instrumentation. But there was some technical issues that was happening. Now, I didn't get to see it, but I did see the replay. One of my friends at me was like, I ain't never seen 400,000 people walk out of a club like I saw that night. That's crazy. I don't know. What happened to social distancing, man? Because I'm saying, wait, what was Teddy doing? I swear to God, he had Cirque du Soleil come up in that motherfucker and was ready to do his music. I'll tell you, if we didn't get to see the show, but we definitely had jokes afterwards. There was so many memes on Black Twitter. Oh man, they was rolling down the FB social media pages. They was getting at Teddy. Teddy, what you doing, man? What you doing? We got some technical difficulties, and Babyface is like, oh Lord, listen, let's get this right, and we'll come back and we'll do it again, cause Babyface is like, man, what is going on? I heard it was like full. I'm telling you, it was like 400. Oh man, I wish I saw that. That was such a magical moment. But you know what? When they reconvene, and I'm sure Teddy's gonna talk to his people, the ones that are techno savvy. They're gonna get this right. Maybe he'll tone it down, maybe not, but maybe he shouldn't. I don't want him to tone it down. Beat Teddy Riley with the fedora and the shades and everything, with the speakers and the microphone, and doing his Boys to Men I'm telling you. Anyway, so that was a beautiful thing, right? But what else was going on? Comedian Godfrey and Jay Farrell, they were doing their thing. They were, two talented cats just called each other, and they were just going at it. Of course, everybody knows comedian Godfrey, the comedian of the years. Everybody knows Jay Farrell, and they're both known for their their impressions. And they were just going back and forth at each other, and they were like Will Smith, Obama and Trump, Liam Neeson, Jason Statham from Hobbs and Shaw, what else? Jay-Z, what else? What else he played? There was a whole bunch of characters they was just going at each other, freestyling like what these characters, these celebrities would say. And it was dope, man. It was really dope. And it only happens like 1:30 in the morning. I don't know why they do it so late. I don't know why they don't do it like 8, 9 o'clock. Well, they get on like 1:30. But that was dope. And then Tory Lanez doing his thing, and that's magnificent. Like I said early in the show, I'm definitely gonna follow this dude now because he's really like making the best out of this situation, and the energy is felt on the receiving end. I believe businesses should move online. As far if your business, you never thought about doing your business online, now is the time to do it. If you do have an online business, now is the time to do it. I tell you. Because and I think it's going to change a lot of things, moving your business online or focusing strictly online. It's going to change how we're going to present ourselves as entrepreneurs even after this COVID thing. And I think if you have a business that's dealing with working out or financial advisement or telemedical services, even his Lyfeblood is what Lyfeblood is. Definitely, we're trying to be more connective to our people and to the global community. And don't worry so much about stocks, man. And I know one cat really promotes it a lot that I listen to. It's funny. I don't want this guy to feel insulted if I don't remember his name. Oh my God. I'm gonna see this brother's name because he deserves to be shouted out. And he does his thing. Let me see if I can find him. And I have him. I have him on my YouTube. This dude is really, really, really cool. There you go. He has the thing with Your Black World, Dr. Boyce Watkins. I can't believe I forgot. I say this guy's name all the time, but he has his background, his educational background in finance, and he talks about stocks a lot, and that's cool and all. That's all good. But I think in these times, let's not worry about stocks. Let's worry about setting up some sort of financial foundation and the necessary things we need in order to survive. Especially right now with food, clothing, and shelter. Let's make money for food. Let's make money for shelter, maintaining our household, maintaining our families, and clothing as well. As far as we need clothing, let's get back to the basics. Stocks is for the rich people anyway. Now, I'm not telling people not to do stocks. I'm just saying that is not seriously important now. If you have the money that you want to invest in stocks, be my guest. But let's try to get to the basics first, and then we'll start branching out back to considering stocks as an option to explore. But let's get ourselves into the businesses that people need right now, as all those examples that I gave before. And it's funny, and I'm speaking strictly from my folks' point of view. Al Sharpton did say something which is true. We survived slavery. We survived Jim Crow. We're definitely going to survive through this COVID-19 thing. And to see all this creativity that's overpouring or just bubbling over on IG Live, it's a treat, man. Now, where my white folks at? I know y'all doing something. All the listeners, all my white listeners is out there. Who is doing what that's equivalent? Because I'm connected to a few folks on IG, but not to the level which is happening on the folks that I mentioned before. But who white comedians, I don't know, celebrities, or what are they doing? Because right now, all I see is on IG is the folks I'm talking about. And it's bubbling over into major news sources like CNN and New York Times, and they're talking about it. And they talking about these people like my man DJ D Nice. All right, I don't see nobody that's really reverberating through the establishment media sources. It's only us right now. Man, I tell you, man, the magic of black folk is unbelievable, man. Never underestimate the power of black creativity. I tell you, and because we've been through it, man. We've been through the hood. We made chitlin. We made some pretty damn good food out of chitlins and the innards of pigs. When back in the day of slavery and even what we didn't have in the 1910, 1920s, we made something. We made some magical things, man. And we made our impression in American society for those foundational black Americans. Yes, for those foundational black Americans. Shout out to all of them. Now I'm not foundational. It's okay. I take myself as a person of African descent, and I represent all people throughout the African diaspora. So, but yeah, man, for those foundational black Americans that was making something out of nothing, that's what black people do, man. That's what we do. We will make a palace out of a couple of grains of sand. So, yeah, shout out to all those folks out there that's doing their thing. Please, and this is what Lyfeblood is about, man. This is a perfect opportunity for Lyfeblood to expand on what its mission statement is about. About creating your passion and building on it and asking people for $1 per month and just donate to each other and build yourself up. This is not a time to be, sulking and, oh my God, what's out there? This is a time, it's just a magical time to be in. As funny as it sounds, even in all the pain and the death and the downtrodden attitudes, I think this is a moment for all of us to hit that big reset button. It is the reset button. COVID-19 is the reset button. What do you plan to do with yourselves? Now I'm speaking to everybody, not just black people in America or around the world, but to the global citizens of this planet. What are you going to do with yourself to reinvent yourself? How are you going to deviate from the road that you've been walking for so long, that you complained about, that you were frustrated about? What are you going to do to reset your life? This is your opportunity. This is your chance. Okay? This is your gift from God. As funny as that may sound. This is your gift from God to say, hey, I know you was complaining before. Now's the time. What do you want to do? You got 3 to 6 months to get your path into forcing it into the direction where you want it to be. We got 3, and I say 3 to 6 months because I feel that that's what we're heading for as far as doing this COVID-19 phase. We got 3 to 6 months of it being heavy. So what are we going to do here? What are we going to do with ourselves? And whatever you want to do, whether you want to get into the creative arts, you're a painter, whether you're a video editor, whether you're a workout buff and you want to be, go straight online, now's the time. All right. You're a musician. Now's the time. You're a physicist and now you're not in the office. Here's your ability to work on your own invention. Now is the time. You're a microbiologist. Now is the time. Engineer. Now is the time. As I said to a lot of retirees or the older folk that's leaving the job they've been doing for the last 35, 40 years. And I'm saying, okay, so what you going to do now? They say, I don't know. I'm like, well, it's not the end. It's not the end. You have 30 years of being an electrical engineer. What can you create that you can leave for humanity, for the human family? You have all this knowledge stuck in your head. You gave it 35 years to some other company to do things that are pretty mundane and repetitious. Now, what invention are you going to make that's going to inspire and that could be beneficial for the human family for the 21st century? Now is the time, man. It's your time to figure it out. And if you miss this, don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to say to you. Because God gave you an opportunity to deviate from that path you've been complaining about for the last 10 years, 5 years, 3 years. Interesting. How about this? You join Lyfeblood.com, you become a lifer. You talk about what you really want to do. Even if it's the field that you're in, say you're a physicist, that you can't really explore at your institution, at your facilities, your R&D. Here's your R&D, your research and development right here on Lyfeblood.com. Go into those Lifeblood lounges, in those chat rooms, talk with people that are physicists like yourself. See if you can collaborate and make something great. Ask people to fund you. That could be money for your day-to-day. That could be money for your patent expenses, to build your mock-up, to really upscale it. Hopefully you know someone in the Lyfeblood community that can, mass produce it, and it's all yours. And it'll be for the Lyfeblood community and then for the greater society as you expand. This is your time. This is your reset. What do you plan to do? All right, so we're going to go into the next song, or next couple of songs. So what we got going? We got Ricardo Williams on the comeback. Man, Ricardo Williams. Let me see if I can pull up what he's doing, because I want to give this brother, he's doing his thing with his music over in the UK. This is another UK artist. So it's Sherry V that's coming out of the UK, and then this brother that's coming out of the UK, Ricardo Williams, he got another project out called Raindrops. Let's pop this open. Wow, this brother Ricardo Williams, born in Jamaica, raised in Hackney, and now settled in Birmingham, UK. He's been doing music for a better part of his life, and he's worked with a whole lot of different R&B, not even worked. He was influenced by a whole bunch of R&B. Boyz II Men, Donny Hathaway, H-Town, Drew Hill, Jodeci Tank, Dave Hollister, yeah. This brother is in the mix. All right. So he's been doing his thing for a long time, and he signed to a newly formed independent record label called Record Box, with a release that he had called Come Over. Dope song. We played on the show. So this brother's doing his thing, and he's got his new record that's coming out now, called Raindrops. So please check out my man Ricardo Williams with his song called Raindrops, if I'm saying that right. Yeah, it's Raindrops. And right behind this young brother from the UK is Christian P with Everything, another independent artist that I see the talent, and he's growing and he's coming to his own. And his song is called Everything. It's on social media platforms, on music streaming platforms. So check it out. So we're going to listen to Ricardo Williams with Raindrops and Christian P with Everything, and we shall return after we play the songs from these two talented young men. All right, so we'll get back to y'all, and check it out.
Tonight is different, we're not in emotions. I'm about to swim down in your ocean. Take you higher, then we break you way down. We be writing songs, girl, when we make sounds. Yeah. Girl, I'm gonna work it like a 9 to 5. Oh, putting all this work like it's some overtime. Done a lot of talking, now it's time to prove. Watch my love rain down, just let it fall on you. Rain down, fall down, non-stop, drip drop, 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 rain down, fall down, non-stop, drip drop.
Ooh, a GCOM exclusive.
rain down, fall down, non-stop, drip drop, rain down, fall down, non-stop, drip drop.
Tonight I'm gonna have you fully open. There'll be no wishing, praying, or hoping. Every little thing I said I'm gonna do, whatever it takes to satisfy you. Girl, I'm gonna work you like a 9 to 5. Putting all this work like it's some overtime. Done a lot of talking, now it's time to prove. Watch my love rain down, just let it fall on you. So just rain down on. Let my loving fall. Let my loving fall on you, baby. Rain on you. Oh, let it rain like raindrops. Rain down, fall down, non-stop, drip drop, drip drop. Rain down, fall down, non-stop, drip drop, drip drop. Rain down, fall down, non-stop, drip drop, drip drop. Rain down, fall down, non-stop, 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 drip drop. Rain down on you. Let my loving fall. Let my loving fall on. Let it rain, baby. Oh, let it rain one more time. Down on you. Let my loving fall like raindrops.
Hey, turn it up. GCOM Radio on iHeartRadio.
I need a teen not infatuated with things. Lately life been hitting like a dream. Remember when this would've been where all my means. I need a teen not infatuated with things. And when I find her, I'ma buy her everything. Lately life been hitting like a dream. Remember when this would've been where all my means. I need a teen not infatuated with things. And when I find her, I'ma buy her everything. Everything, everything, everything. Every color in Celine. If I shoot my shot, I got you covered with the beam. Strung out over Sandra for that Fendi, she a fiend. Choose a side, ain't no fucking in between. Picture me pulling up Portofino. Don't do Valentine's, only Valentino. She wanna do Miami like a Marino. Switch lanes, go abroad for the summer. Shoot my shot, I'm D-Lo with the jumper. I know some pussy niggas wanna take me under. If she wrong, we in Rome, who gon' judge her? Yeah, it's been a while since she been in this city. Seem like ever since she came in my life, she been in Balenci. Bottoms red like she did it for Cincy. My sensation and her style mincy. Lately life been hitting like a dream. Remember when this would've been where all my means. I need a teen not infatuated with things. And when I find her, I'ma buy her everything. Lately life been hitting like a dream. Remember when this would've been where all my means. I need a teen not infatuated with things. And when I find her, I'ma buy her everything. Everything, everything, everything. Every color in Chanel. She was acting shy, that tortoise got her out of shell. White on white Porsche, like I got it off the scale. Look like I still been selling dope, that's just as far as they could tell. Picture me posted up in the penthouse. The benefits of all the shit we been bout. These niggas ain't ballin', I went the gym route. Been on go so long, forgot about the break. Since I went vegan, I ain't worried about the steaks. She know I started from the bottom like the base. Now it's top floor, I could put her in her place. Yeah, it's been a while since she been in this city. Seem like ever since she came in my life, she been in Balenci. Bottoms red like she did it for Cincy. My sensation and her style mincy. Lately life been hitting like a dream. Remember when this would've been where all my means. I need a teen not infatuated with things. And when I find her, I'ma buy her everything. Lately life's been hitting like a dream. Remember when this would've been way out my means. I need a teen not infatuated with things. And when I find her, I'ma buy her everything. Everything, everything, everything.
Okay, we returned with these two talented young men, and with Ricardo Williams. A little bit more about him. He did it come over in 2018 and with a remix, and he did He Ain't Me. We played that on the show. He Ain't Me is a banger. If you haven't heard that, man, listen, you guys don't know what you're missing. This guy does that pure R&B, the stuff that we like. Us old heads like, also the new heads too, that want to hear how the traditional essence of R&B. And he did Come Over featuring Tidra Moses. That played a little bit ago. You can find that on music streaming platforms. So big ups to my man Ricardo Williams. He is on the commercial that we shot, or not even shot, that we edited, that we're going to release next week. We'll talk a little bit about that more later. And then, of course, that was Christian P. Coming with everything. That brother is doing his thing as well. So I see him coming up on the rise. So shout out to them both. All right, so we're going to get into the next thing. What is that segment that we have to do? Not even a segment. We have to do News You Need to Know. All right, let's get into it. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, around the world and right in your neighborhood, it's the news you need to know.
COVID-19 vaccines in development. While the country is setting plans to reopen the United States, there are several companies and entities working together to develop a viable vaccine for people. A new public-private initiative spearheaded by NIH, National Institute of Health, Food and Drug Administration, and 16 other private companies in the pharmaceutical industry. All health experts agreed to reopen America, but there needs to be more testing, contact tracing, and better drugs to deal with COVID-19. Dr. Francis Collins, director of NIH, says, quote, "We need to have all hands on deck from every sector to speed up the process of identifying those treatments that are going to work and to get the vaccines also developed and tested to make sure they're safe and effective in the maximum possible speed," unquote. There are 2 vaccines in phase 1 and 40 others in development. NASA plans to take flight in a SpaceX launch. It's been 10 years since NASA operated a space mission. Ever since retiring the space shuttle in 2011, the journey has been long and difficult. Now the plan has been set to get back up above the clouds. May 27th, that's the new date for this new mission. This time it will be owned and operated by Elon Musk's SpaceX company. With space missions being mostly for delivering cargo, this will be the first for SpaceX to carry humans into the cold, dark emptiness since 2011. Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley, who both happen to be married to 2 astronauts, have been chosen to man the next spaceflight. This trip is extremely important for the United States and NASA in order to maintain a U.S. presence on the International Space Station. After Jessica Meyer and Drew Morgan recently returned to Earth, there's only 1 American left with 2 other Russian astronauts aboard. And that is the news you need to know. Yeah, man, that was the news you need to know. Hopefully, I try to find the information for you guys that on news or information that you need to hear, that you wouldn't necessarily hear it in your major news sources, or if you have and you haven't gotten to it, you could also listen to news information right here on GCOM Radio. That's why I like to mix it up with things that are on my mind, but also news that is floating around out there in world news or news that's coming out of the United States. And we'll expand on that. I know I wish I could do a little more because I still feel that I'm not giving you enough information. Let me fix this mic. I still don't think I'm giving you enough information, adequate information, but as we grow, there's going to be a serious segment on that when I can. Even when I'm not on GCOM Radio, there will still be others that's going to take over for me while I go handle other things with Lyfeblood.com. So we'll go into the third segment. I forgot my water, man. I got all the phlegm in the throat. Anyway, so we're going to go into the third segment, and that's about Netflix shows and the COVID entertainment. Everything surrounding on COVID, man, it's hard to ignore. We can't, I mean, this is the life. This is what's happening to, excuse me. This is what's happening to people's lives around the world, so it's hard not to talk about it. So as I've been dealing with this whole COVID thing, and along with y'all, watching TV, and when I can get it in, sometimes I do not have time for it, but when I do, I'm trying to get my shows in. And I'm gonna tell you a couple things that's happened on Netflix, which is super dope. Which is, I'm like, damn, I should have been watching Tiger King. Let me tell you something. That is a train wreck of a show. I'm not going to explain it. So many people have talked about Tiger King. I think I got like 2 episodes left, and I want to complete it because I got a spoiler about what happened towards the end of the series, and it is a train wreck of a show. Now, to tell you the truth, I really don't care what happens to the Tiger King. The motherfucker locked up, I don't give a damn. Because you know what? Because all those jokes, and I know sometimes we stereotype about people with the down south twang and that whole culture and their guns and all those things and wrestling with alligators and all that stuff. You know, that is the typical image that I'm seeing with this Tiger King. Is some small corner wherever they from down south, and what really was for me as a black man was a clincher for me when he went on his own show and he was like, how come I can't say the N-word? Black men in these rap songs say that all the time. Oh man, listen. So you know damn well, even before the cameras is on this dude, he was saying nothing but nigga all day. Ain't no black people around where he from, and all the people that help him with this damn little tiger thing that he got going on. So you know they say nigga 20 times a day. And then one person I said no, that there was an Asian chick on there. She could have been Filipino or Korean, or nah, she's not Korean. She's a little shade too dark to be Korean. But she could be like Filipino, or what's the other country? And I'm thinking Vietnamese or something like that. But somehow she was born in that area. She grew up there, grew up poor. She's helping this dude, the Tiger King, handle these tigers. She got her arm bit off. Somebody was like, well, I'm not team Tiger King. I'm not team Carol, whatever her name, his arch nemesis. I'm team that lady, whatever. I'm like, I don't know her. She could be saying nigga right along with him. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm not going with, I ain't team nobody. I'm sitting on my couch. I'm watching this train wreck of a show, and I'm like, wow. And all of them is hustlers. All of them is hustlers. I don't give a damn what you say. All of them is hustlers, if you ask me. They all, Carol, whatever her name is, killed her husband, allegedly. I'm pretty sure, because it's so funny. But she talking about she gonna take care of tigers. No, the hell no, you ain't taking in no goddamn tigers, lion, tigers, and bears. You got the same thing that this dude Tiger King got, but you running a good game talking to people saying you care about the wild animals. Get the fuck out of here. You don't care about no damn. And then you hustling people to volunteer at your wildlife resort, whatever you want to call it, and they volunteering for free. 20 or 30 of them, you got the color-coded t-shirts, everything. You got this thing down to a science. So I'm supposed to believe you that you care about these damn tigers. You care about these damn tigers once you release them to some animal sanctuary where they're from. But I see you keeping them though. You getting people to pay you at the door to come in and see these damn animals. Man, I ain't falling for none of that bullshit. All of them doing the same thing. They all turning on each other. All of them is jackals eating at each other's bones. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Other thing is Little Fire Everywhere. I heard that's dope. My wife was watching that. She's saying that show is dope. That's the thing that's on Netflix. Check that out. It's with Kerry Washington is on with it. And who's that other lady? I forgot the name of this other lady. I forgot her name. Oh, man. Let me see if I can. I'm on the internet. I'm going to find out. Let's see here. Let me see here. It is little fires everywhere in the cast. Let's go to the cast. Let's see. It's Kerry Washington and yes, Reese Witherspoon. I like Reese Witherspoon for some reason. I really dig her. I don't know. Her energy is. I like her energy. Anybody that hasn't seen Breaking Bad, it's a good time to see Breaking Bad. I think it's still on there. Black as fuck. I saw it's the guy that created Blackish, black. I don't know, black youngsters or black grown and black, whatever. He everything that's got Blackish in it, whatever. That guy's name. He got a show called Black as Fuck, and I'm gonna get his name. And he's actually the creator and starring in his own show, Black as Fuck on Netflix. And the guy's name is Kenya something. Kenya, let me see here. Yeah, Kenya Barris. Listen, I saw an article. Somebody was talking about it, reviewing the show. They didn't like it. They thought it was just kind of lame, and him explaining the stories of his family. His daughter is, I think, in the TV show, his daughter is trying to go to NYU, and so she's filming this documentary on the family just so she can submit herself into NYU, a film program, I guess. And then throughout this whole thing, that's where you see the life of this guy Kenya Barris and his wife Rainbow and his 6 kids and all that. And I thought it was cool. You know, what's the name is in it? Rashida Jones. And yeah, hey man, I'm just taking it as entertainment. Is it going to be eloquent and sophisticated in what they're trying to come across with? That's arguable, but I get a good laugh from it. So I could dig it. I could watch it. There's some other shows that I'm like, trash. I'm not watching that show. That show that I say that is trash is that history piece on Madam C.J. Walker. Madam C.J. Walker. Is that it on Netflix? Let me see. Is it Netflix? Is it? I saw a little bit of it. I wasn't too crazy about it. I'm not, to tell you the truth, I'm not even too crazy about the history of it. Yeah, it is, man. It's called Self-Made. I'm not too crazy about the history, and I'll get into that later. But on another show, that needs its own segment. But I'm not too crazy about it on Netflix. I heard some reviews on it. I watched some reviews. It was totally trash. They didn't do anything that was based on her life. It was something that they did create. It was somewhere between, from what I understand from reviews, creative license / ultimate fuckery. They was like, nah, this is a propaganda piece. We don't give a damn about Madam C.J. Walker. We just gonna make some shit up along the way. I'm not with that. I didn't see it. I saw 10 minutes, 15 minutes of it, and I was watching it with my wife, and we both looked at each other, and we was like, nah. We was like, nah, we're not gonna continue watching that damn show. It was just, I just didn't like it. It was just corny. And they did the thing that I didn't like. They had, as a part of it, Madam C.J. Walker, the actress that plays Madam, Octavia Spencer, in a ring with the woman that she worked with initially, as far as where she got the idea for the hair care products. And they were in a ring, and they were doing boxing, and they had the robe on her. I thought, I was like, what? This is stupid. Is this some sort of artistic thing as a part of the movie to make it, wow, that's so cool. It's so artistic. It was stupid. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not with that. Anyway, I'll go into a little bit more in the future show why I'm not I like the fact of her success, Madam C.J. Walker, of the time of what black people went through in that time period. I think that it's an amazing feat to accomplish, in surrounded by racism and sexism and all these things, and she became a self-made millionaire. I praise that. But the thing about it I ain't like was the product that she made. Basically made millions off of people's own issues. You know what I mean? What else is good dope? Altered Carbon. I saw a little bit of Altered Carbon. I thought that was pretty interesting. I didn't finish it. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't finish it. But now they have my brother that is doing season 2 of Altered Carbon, and I'm a sci-fi person, so I can dig it. I like Altered Carbon and what they were presenting initially. I have to get into the story to really dig deep if it's worthwhile watching. But again, that's something to binge on while we're home, or while I'm home, or while y'all home. What's that brother? He's in Altered Carbon now. He's Falcon. What's that full name from Falcon? You know what? It's funny, right? As far as Marvel is concerned, I was never a big Falcon person. You know, it's Anthony Mackie. He's now the dude is being the lead character in Altered Carbon. But yeah, I was not a big fan of the Falcon. I just thought, like, even back in the 70s, if you see the getup that he wore, the tights, it was. I was like, yo, this is stupid. They were some of the black comic book characters back in the day, they were not really that cool. Maybe they were at the time because it was the 70s, like early 70s, mid 70s, whenever they came out. But when you look back on it now, I'm like, huh? That's the black superhero? I thought like the uniform was corny, the powers were corny, like everything was just dumb. I was like, okay. Blade was hot. I like Blade. Maybe it was because of the time, because I look back at Blade back then, it was cheesy in the outfit. It was a product of his time. But it is what it is. Another thing to watch is CBS All Access Star Trek Picard. On CBS All Access, I'm a Star Trek fan. I'm not going to go as far as I'm dressing up and putting on pointy ears at any one of these conventions. But I say I am a Star Trek fan. I've been watching Star Trek since I was a kid. When it came on late night, 11 o'clock or something like that, came on right after the Honeymooners, around that period. When I know damn well my ass should have been sleeping, I was watching Star Trek. You know what I mean? And so all the way up to now, to Star Trek that's out now in the movie theaters. I didn't see every Star Trek series, but definitely when I heard that Picard was coming back with Star Trek Picard, I peeped it. I like where it's going right now. I saw, I think, 6 episodes in, and I like the story and where they're going. And they definitely don't make him like, and as far as the story that they created, they don't make him like the centerpiece. All right, he is the main character, but nobody, basically takes orders from him because he's not in the Federation anymore. He's just on this mission trying to save this woman, this android that's the daughter of Data, and he has to go on this wild, crazy mission with some other crazy eclectic characters that have all their own agendas going on. So they're not listening to this dude. He's like, yeah, you're just an old man. But I like the fact where they're taking Picard's character, and it's dope. A man of his age, man. What is he? 80. How old is oh my god? Let me see. Star Trek Picard. I got. Sometimes I don't remember. I don't write some of the stuff. I don't write all down, folks. So you gotta bear with me. Sometimes I'm running over and I get Patrick Stewart, and I don't get all the information, so I gotta find it. So thank you for having that patience and working through this with me. But yeah, so Patrick Stewart, my brother is getting up in age there, man. Patrick Stewart is like, how old is Pat? He's like, what, 93? This dude is up there, and for him still to be working is great. Patrick Stewart is 79 years old. 79, his birthday is July 13th, 1940. This brother is 79 years old and still working. That goes to show he don't have to work no more. That connects to my last episode as far as of the politicians afraid to give people money because they're saying, oh, they won't work. Yeah, they won't work for you. But people still work. People that are well off still work. Work is not connected to money, the exchange of money. Work is just something that human beings do to push themselves personally on what they could accomplish and contribute to their community. So so big ups to Patrick Stewart still doing the thing. I gotta continue watching that show. What next? Black Mirror. Black Mirror is dope. High tech. It's a high tech sci-fi story that is similar to Amazing Stories. Anybody that is in my age group knows Amazing Stories that came on in the early 90s and 80s, whatever like that. And they just told these funny, quirky stories from, you know, colorful characters that they were running into things in their own lives that either was a benefit or it was a tragic ending. Amazing Stories was just a great show to watch. So just Google that, Amazing Stories. So it's kind of like that Black Mirror with a high-tech aspect to it. So check out Black Mirror when you guys can. What else? Oh yeah, of course, Disney Plus is releasing a lot of movies. Disney company has to release movies on VOD. That's video on demand. They are releasing Trolls, Onward, Sonic the Hedgehog, la 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 la. So I watch all these things. I'm trying to figure out if I should keep Disney Plus or not. And I was thinking this way before this COVID thing, because I'm like, okay, I was all hype on Disney Plus. I got Disney Plus. Now there's nothing else to see on Disney Plus. I'm like, okay, so it's cute that, you know, you have Darkwing Duck and you got, you know, Scrooge McDuck and you got, you know, the Chipmunks, you got the Care Bear, whatever is on Disney right now. That's cute. I watch it along with my kid. But then I'm like, they need new material. Netflix is still kicking ass. Disney Plus needs some new material, and especially the bad part about it is because COVID is here, they can't continue productions to release the movies that were going to be directly on Disney Plus, which was WandaVision, I say as far as Marvel, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, all those shows as far as Marvel's concerned. I was looking forward to it. Now that's going to take time. Mandalorian, love the Mandalorian. Dope. I love that. So if you haven't seen The Mandalorian, please go see it on Disney Plus, man. I think they said they finished filming the second season before this COVID hit. So we'll see. I don't know. I could be wrong. And also, lastly, see The End of the Fucking World. That's the actual title. The End of the Fucking World. So the whole thing is about this, you know, crazy young girl in her teens, early teens, that gets with this guy, like, you know, not as far as boyfriend or girlfriend, but they have to do this mission. And the guy, the young boy that I think they're both sophomores in high school, he's a psychotic killer and he wants to kill her. But now this crazy thing happens where they have to go on this mission to do something, and all on this traveling trek, and all along the while they're getting into these crazy situations, but in between he wants to kill her. Like, I thought that was an interesting story, as just demented as it sounds. I'm like, okay, how this is gonna play out? So The End of the Fucking World, go see that. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. It was a pleasure talking to you. I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about. Sometimes I'm prepared for this show and sometimes I'm not. Like, sometimes I'll do notes for the week and then all of a sudden Saturday comes and I'm rushing to get this thing done. And I do record on Sundays, and I get it for you guys for Wednesday. So the following Wednesday. So yeah, man. Sometimes I rush, and there's so many other things that's going on. As far as what I was going to tell you about the commercial, we're going to drop the commercial soon. So I think that the commercial should be dropping the same day. It should be dropping today, meaning Wednesday. It's a commercial that kind of brings Lyfeblood brand to the forefront, and how we're in the midst of battling this COVID-19 and how we're going to push forward and make this happen for everyone in the community. So you're going to see that commercial soon. And with my man, Ricardo Williams is in the show. I shouted him out on IG, or now on the show in the commercial, as one of those independent artists to look for. And I'm telling you, this guy got a dope voice. And let me tell you, if you didn't have great artistry, I would not fuck with you. This guy is dope, and I'll big him up in any way possible. And that's dropping. And then there's also some other things that I'm doing with Music Life. If you follow me, you see Music Life is a part of the blurb that's on IG and all the other social media platforms. But I'm going to definitely start getting the Music Life up and ramping that up when the commercial drops, and getting artists aboard of what we're trying to do with Music Life. I was talking and reaching out to a couple of labels and seeing where I was going to go with it. I was doing that in December. That was one of the side projects I was working on, and I was hopefully I could bring it in the first quarter of 2020, but then COVID happened, and it kind of really threw the monkey wrench in those works. But I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to go ahead with it and do it myself. Even if I didn't get that response from the people at these labels the way I wanted to, that's fine. I'll do it myself. That's what we do. As I say, what black people always do, we make something out of nothing, and we make it magical. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Join Lyfeblood.com, become a lifer. And this is the opportunity to reset your life and everything that it is to be a lifer. This is where we're going to start. This is our reset. This is where we're jumping aboard, man. This is Lyfeblood.com. This is the ship you want to be on. So thank you again for listening to me ramble on and going off and making mistakes and coughing and all that stuff that's all on it. And it's non-COVID related coughs. It's just phlegm in the throat. I didn't bring my water this time around. So please check out Lyfeblood.com. Be a part of it. We're building this community. We're going to do some great things in 2020, even with this COVID thing hanging over our heads. All right. Thank you, guys. I'm out of here. See you next week. Peace.
Check it.
You just listened to GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com for the global community.
We worldwide, baby.
See you in the next go round. From right here to your town, we out.